Hey guys, so here's the Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy whatever video. It's probably going to be in 2 or 3 parts because I have so many notes that kind of jump all over the place. So I kind of want to do the beginning where he was incarcerated in 2008 and how that came about, because he got a deal of a lifetime, and that usually doesn't happen unless you have, I don't really want to say it, like blackmail on someone. You can extort them, whatever. So this is part 1 of Jeffrey Epstein. So in October of 2007, Miami's top federal prosecutor, Alexander Acosta, had an appointment with Washington, D.C. Attorney Jay Lefkowitz. They convened at the Marriott in West Palm Beach because, just so you know, Jeffrey Epstein had property in Palm Beach, Florida. For Lefkowitz, the meeting was critical. His client was Jeffrey Epstein, then 54, who was accused of assembling a large cult-like network of underage girls, sex trafficking, with the help of young female recruiters to coerce into having sex acts beyond the walls of his waterfront mansion as often as 3 times a day. Epstein, whose friends include Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Prince Andrew, all very influential people, especially when you're involving the royals, was also suspected of trafficking minor girls, often from overseas, for sex parties at his other homes in Manhattan, New Mexico. He has a New Mexican ranch that I believe, don't quote me word for word, but just paraphrasing, he wanted to impregnate a lot of people and get his DNA out there. Like, he's such a weirdo. But an orgy island, which is pedo island, whatever, you know, the island in the Caribbean. Facing a 53-page federal indictment, Epstein could have ended up in the federal prison for the rest of his life. They're saying at least 45 years. So keep that in mind when I tell you the sentence he gets. But on that morning, a deal was struck, an extraordinary plea agreement that would conceal the full extent of Epstein's crimes and the number of people involved. Not only would Epstein only serve 13 months in county jail, not even prison, but county jail, but the deal shut down an ongoing FBI probe into whether there were more victims and other powerful people who took part in Epstein's sex crimes. So that right there says a lot. The pact required Epstein to plead guilty to 2 prostitution charges in state court. Epstein and 4 of his accomplices named in the agreement received immunity from all federal criminal charges. Awesome. But even more unusual, the deal included wording that granted immunity to any potential co-conspirators who are also involved in Epstein's crimes. So anyone involved would get immunity, which I'll give my opinion at the end because this just pisses me off. These participants weren't identified in the agreement. As a part of the arrangement, Acosta agreed, despite federal law, that the deal would be kept from the victims. And this was the prosecutor that was supposed to fight for the victims, but they were keeping it from the victims. They didn't have a choice in this. And usually in crimes like these, the victims have a say. They had no say whatsoever. As a result, the non-prosecution agreement was sealed until after it was approved by the judge, thereby averting any chance that the girls or anyone else might show up in court and try to derail it. This is the story of how Epstein was able to manipulate the criminal justice system and how his accusers, still traumatized, believed they were betrayed by the very prosecutors who pledged to protect them. That's right. The prosecutors who told these victims that they were going to fight for them, everything, pretty much turned their back. And they were not fighting for them. Alexander Acosta would later become the Secretary of Labor under President Trump. So keep that in mind. The prosecutor that said he was going to help these victims is, now Secretary of Labor under the current president. So what does that say? And then I got this from the New York Post. While he was in county jail, he was able to buy 2 pairs of size 5 female underwear. And county jails, they're separated by, male, female. And he was able to buy it at the from the Palm Beach County Jail's shop. Why would they sell women's underwear in a men's county jail? That is so weird. So there's that. In 2008, where he served time in served time in 2008 for pleading guilty to soliciting a minor for sex. He only served 13 months. Covered that. But while he was in this county jail, he served his sentence with work release. So this guy got special treatment. Usually pedophiles in jail, they get the shit beat out of them. It is not easy for them in jail settings. But Jeffrey had it pretty easy. I'll continue. Permission to leave the prison to go and work at his office. So he continued to do business, probably shady business, we can all imagine, while he was in jail. He got work release. So, and his work release was good for 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. So, meaning he was barely in jail. He was out, working, probably still doing the sex trafficking, whatever, while he's in jail. How sick is that? So the sheriff's office had to put a ton of overtime to make this happen. They received $128,000 from Epstein's nonprofit to compensate them for when he was in jail. Whoop-de-doo. While in jail, his cell door was unlocked. It was never locked, so he could kind of come and go as he pleased. There were reports that he would walk around the jail naked. Why would you walk around like an all-male jail naked? The more I find out about this guy, the more he makes me sick. So he was allowed to have visitors and meet with them in separate rooms with the door closed. And no recording, no nothing. He could have his privacy, which in jail you shouldn't have. They strip you of your freedom. They strip you of your privacy. You don't get that. So that is crazy. So he could do whatever he wanted, and secretly. So if he wanted to conduct business, further trafficking, allegedly, whatever, he could still do that with privacy. He could be in another room, doors shut, and not worry about them knowing what's going on with his business, whatever. Because when I looked into him, no one knew how he made his money. Yeah, he was a financier, whatever, for billionaires, but still, they couldn't figure out how he made his money. So what does that say? He probably made all his money from sex trafficking, basically being a high-profile pimp for the elite. This man, I really despise. I actually hate him. I mean, hate's a strong word, but the Florida Attorney General was basically told to back off and that Epstein belonged to intelligence. But like I read earlier, they stopped from looking further into him. I don't know why. I don't know if he paid off people, because this dude was a billionaire. He had a $77 million Manhattan house. He had an island in Little St. James, which is dubbed like Pedo Island, Orgy Island. It's just really disgusting. And I wanted to cover that part first because to me, that's important. He got special treatment. And to me, that's not fair whatsoever to his victims, to anyone. And then I want to, there's this one article that I want to read because it's bad, but I'm trying to find it. Okay. And like I said, I'm probably going to make another part or 2 more parts because I want to get this really accurate. And just so you know, if you want to look up articles on Epstein, don't use Google. They hide a lot of stuff. Use a different browser, because when I was using Google, I found not a lot of information. So I used a different server or browser, found way more information. So we all know about Pizzagate, right? So Pizzagate started with the discovery that Hillary and Bill Clinton provided assistance to convicted child trafficker Laura Silsby, resulting in a reduced sentence for child trafficking. This will kind of like blow your mind. On January 29, 2010, Silsby was arrested with 9 other American nationals attempting to steal 33 children from Haiti, most of whom weren't even orphans and had families. CNN reported on February 9th, 2010, that this wasn't the first time Silsby had attempted to traffic children out of Haiti. So this was not the first time. Haitian police, acting on a tip, had intercepted Silsby in an earlier separate attempt to remove 40 children, 40, out of the country. She was turned back at the Haitian border. And then get this. Hillary and Bill Clinton take an extraordinary interest in Silsby's case. From the moment she was arrested, and almost immediately stepped in on her behalf. Weird, because she's trying to traffic these kids. She's trying to say that she's bringing them to the Dominican to, bring them to an orphanage, a better orphanage, whatever. These kids had families. They were not orphans. Prosecutors sought out a 6-month sentence in Silsby's case, reducing charges for conspiracy and child abduction to arranging irregular travel. So it went from pretty much child trafficking to arranging irregular travel. A shocking light penalty given the circumstances. So yeah, 6 months instead of, I don't know what the original sentence was going to be, but it was going to be many years. And the Clintons stepped in right away, like, weird. And I don't know if I'm going to dive deep into the Clintons with Haiti, because there's so much weird stuff with that. Just anyone that comes close to the Clintons and Haiti wind up dead. And then in my previous videos, with Chester Bennington, lead singer of Linkin Park, and Chris Cornell. My belief is they wanted to expose Jeffrey Epstein, and that's why they wound up murdered, if you want to believe that. But they had a lot of evidence because Epstein not only had residences, in Manhattan, I think New Jersey, don't quote me on that one, New Mexico, Palm Beach, Florida, the island, the little St. James Island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and then he had properties in Europe. So I think I'm going to stop there for now. I wanted to give a quick kind of, he got a deal of a lifetime in 2007, 2008. And he got treated like a celebrity in jail. And people with those kind of crimes, they don't get treated like celebrities. They usually get the shit beat out of them constantly. They're usually raped, possibly killed. And this dude was walking around like he's a celebrity. That's what the guard said. So think what you want from this, but there will be more parts. It's just, I want to make sure they're really thorough, because when I was looking at articles, they were all over the place. So I kind of want to get a chronological order of how it went down, and whether you believe he committed suicide, he was murdered, or he paid off a lot of people and he's still alive and well and hiding out. It's up for you to decide. I don't know. I guess down below, let me know what you think, if he was murdered, if he committed suicide, or if he's alive and well somewhere. Because I don't know, this story takes a huge, weird spin that when I was even looking at, I was just like, my mind was blown. So I hope you like this. It's really rainy here today. I think I woke up with a cold, so I didn't put on makeup, whatever. So sorry, I look like a hideous monster. But anyway, I want to get this out pretty fast, because my previous video, people wanted me to talk about Epstein and the conspiracies. But in order to get to the conspiracies, you have to start from the beginning, or the beginning of his criminal acts that he was caught. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a good one, and let me know what you think in the comments, because this is just wild. So hope you guys have a good one. Bye.